Good morning, Dr. Xiaowei Huang. You are professor at Liverpool. Can you briefly introduce yourself to my students at Comp 717, Artificial Intelligence?
Sure. Thank you, Ji, for this invitation. So my name is Xiaowei Huang. So I'm now a professor of computer science at the University of Liverpool, where I founded the trustworthy autonomous system, autonomous cyber-physical system lab. So what my lab is doing is trying to figure out how AI system can work in a way that all the risks can be reduced. So nowadays, this discipline is called AI safety or AI security. But in general, from computer science perspective, so what we are doing is trying to identify the potential vulnerability of AI system and evaluate how serious this vulnerability is. And then if we are very optimistic on this AI system, we should be able to provide a certificate saying that this system now is actually safe according to some standards, some regulations, and so on.
So can you give us some specific examples, maybe a couple of the examples that you have worked on, and then show us this is an important problem, and then how you address the problem in those examples?
Okay, yeah, sure. So one particular example that we use from the beginning of the time that we look into this field is autonomous driving. Okay, so I think that for autonomous driving, nowadays you expect that a lot of AI are actually used, from the perception to the scenario understanding to the construction of world model until you do the planning. So all these things are now actually implemented by different type of machine learning, deep learning models, combined with some symbolic technologies. So this is a very complicated, big system. But on the other hand, people realize that, for example, the perception system, in particular, they are not very robust, particularly saying that, okay, so if we are subject to some sort of color change, okay, or if the angle of your camera is not actually stick very well, there are some mechanical problems of your camera, then that will lead to very serious problems of perception system. We will probably cannot recognize some very important objects. So we have some demo and experiments that working on a very well-known, very recent end-to-end system. And then in that system, we discovered that a lot of, we can say probably, if in some situation like the color change, like the angle change, then the vehicle in front of the car will not be recognized. So this is actually a very serious problem. Yeah, so this is one of the probably one of the many examples. We also consider other examples like underwater vehicle, which means that the water, the vehicle is actually in the sea, and they are going to inspect the for example the pipes, the pipes under the sea to see if there are some sort of flaw or problems. Yeah, so there's a lot of this type of problems that we have been looking into.
So AI safety now is a big area, and what are the state-of-art approach or like methods that you think that kind of being vigorously like worked on?
So AI safety is a very broad area. So I mean, we are probably one of the first few groups that actually name this AI safety, because we are actually the first group actually hosting the AI safety workshop in AAAI in Jikai. So we
I
are pretty
remember
much
that. Yeah.
yeah.
I remember that it started when you were working at Oxford University, right?
Yes. When it's right after I left. So the workshop series of AI safety was started from 2018, which is very early at the time. And at that time, so AI safety was pretty much technical focused, which means that we're looking into the problems of technical problems of AI, and then try to figure out how to solve them. But nowadays, the AI safety concept has been broadened very
wider.
And it actually includes that a lot of social aspects that we need to consider, a lot of even because I mean now AI is regarded as the some entity which you are expecting to interact with you every day. So it's not like a car. Of course, car is a special one, right? Like you probably ride your car every day, but not all the mechanical things that you are going to have every day. But AI is something that you are going to experience embedded into your life, like in your phone and everywhere. So it's getting closer to the human society, which means that people are start to realize that okay, so it's not only just a technical problem, so it's also a societal problems. And then how to actually combine this societal and the technical together to actually make the system not only has no harm, no direct harm to human, but also has no harm to the society. Okay, so there's some implicit harm, which is also very serious. But for the AI safety itself, I think that as I said, so the research field is very broad. But on the other hand, one particular field that like people like me are still working on is trying to figure out are we able to actually identify the limits of AI system, which means that we want to know. Okay, so when I give you a system, okay, so the boundary of the system, where will be the boundary? And as long as we are able to identify this boundary, then we know that okay, so how to actually we know that the system is actually safe or not in some particular environment. This is very hard problem, but on the other hand, it's actually very interesting. And I see now a lot of research actually developing into this particular subfield.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember that maybe before the ChatGPT moment. Oh, sorry, my kid is. I'm doing an interview to a professor from Liverpool University. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay. Just give me a second. I'll fix the problem and I'll come back.
That's fine.
My friend, okay? Yeah, I can see my friend. Yeah.
Hello.
This is my friend, Professor.
How are you?
How are you?
Cold.
It's you who actually get the PB today, right?
No.
The other girl.
She finished in an hour.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm doing an interview. So can you actually let us to finish the interview?
No.
No? Why not?
No.
Why not?
I'm bored.
You're bored, okay? So, Professor Huang, Xiaowei, tell us something interesting.
Yellow.
Professor Yellow, okay. Tell us something interesting. Oh, Huang is yellow, yes, yeah.
Something interesting.
She's like learning Chinese, so that's why she can say Huang means yellow.
Okay.
Oh, Professor Yellow, tell us something interesting.
Something interesting.
Yeah, for 9-year-olds.
Yeah,
In AI
that's a very hard question.
It's a prompt.
Of course,
It's a
I always
prompt.
brand myself actually fun daddy, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I don't know. I mean, I don't have any immediate things that I can tell.
Okay, so why this problem interesting to you?
Okay, so the problem interesting to me is because of I have been, I mean, from my background, so I have been working with formal methods and formal verification for a very long time before I started looking into AI system. So my career is actually looking into the problems how to verify a safety critical system in a sense. Okay. And for safety critical system, it means that
If you do this, I will let you go. Okay. Yeah. Not polite. Okay, this is not polite. Yeah. So we actually met at UNSW, and we both work on like logic-based approach for verifying computer systems. And then you start to work on AI-enabled like machine learning system safety. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's
why
true.
Why you jump the boat?
No. I mean, I'm not actually moving too far away from where we were. So I always stick with the original interests of actually trying to identify the problems or counter examples of the complex system, and then or verify that okay, so there's no problems at all. But then the only thing changed is that because now it's AI time, and then I changed the subjects of study from the traditional system, completely symbolic system, to now the system which is sub-symbolic, or it's a learning system. It's just a matter of the subject of study changed, and of course this leads to a lot of things has to change because of the old methodology that we used to work on those state transition system might not work on this learning system because there's no clear definition of states, there's no clear definition of transition, and there's no even a lot of cases there's no clear definition of temporal sequences. Okay, so since because of the change of subjects, then there's a lot of things has to be changed.
Yeah. So what you basically said was that your interest or your passion didn't change over years. Basically, you want to verify systems correctness, but has changed. It was more like logical enabled systems, but change into more like machine learning enabled system. So that's the main change. And along the way, you have to change a lot of the techniques because of the in the machine enabled system, they are not as rigid as the logic based one, the traditional one. And the change is timely because actually more and more people are using machine learning based system instead of more traditional like structural logic enabled like system, right?
Right. Correct.
I think we work on a similar field before, and then I stayed in the same boat for a long time. Now I regret a bit, but you said a very good example of a researcher in this symbolic AI kind of area shifted to a research on sub-symbolic like machine learning enabled system. So you really an inspiration for me and for many other researchers, I think.
Thank you.
Your career change.
Thank you. I think that that's something it's for me, it's like it's just a different philosophy of looking at the research. There are two different type of research, as far as I can tell. One is that for a career of one researcher, they stick with some particular topic and go deeper, and then build up their reputation and so on. So this is, you are probably this type, and there's another type which is like me. We are looking at what's actually going on in the real world, and trying to in a way adapt the technology that we actually develop in the other field, try to work on new fields, and which means that we are going to lose some sort of techniques that the depths of technique in a way. But then it's just catering for the needs of what's actually going on in the real world. It's just a different philosophy of doing research.
Yeah. Tremendous. Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
epic. I want to ask. Yeah. What do you see the future of this technology, AI? You know, in 5-10 years time.
So
You cannot say anything. We're interviewing, okay?
So I mean,
you're saying too many years.
I mean, it's very hard to predict right now what will going on. So what will happen? But even in 2-3 year time. So since might change very quickly. But what I can say is that, okay, based on what I observe right now, so I think that this type of multimodal large language models won't go away for some time. So I expect that so they are going to stay for a while, and then the things will change is that how people are going to build these type of multimodal large language models, and how people are going to use them in different domains. In terms of building these things, right now, what I can see is that they are just using a lot of data, right? So getting all these internet data to train it. But in the future, they are going to be embedding more and more requirements, regulations, and so on, to make it actually a system which is not only just perform very well, but also have various different type of human values actually embedded in them.
I see.
So that's actually the building part. But in terms of how this will be applied to domains, I also expecting that there are going to be a lot of domains which will actually use. I actually receive a lot of people asking that okay, so particularly in medical domain, in robotic domains, so they are very interested in the potential of this multi-modal large language models, and then they are very keen to actually looking into how these things can be leveraged in their fields. But their way of leveraging are different. Okay, so they have their different specifics and so on, which I expect that in the end there will be a brain. Okay, a brain of these big models, but there are also going to be some muscles actually dedicated to different subfields.
Okay,
and that's just my personal view. So it's nothing definitely correct or it's just purely predictive.
So your expertise is in AI safety, and do you think that we will have the control, like as a human, we will have the control over the AI for the next decade? Like there's worry about AI being able to
I mean
improve itself and then become AGI artificial general intelligence or ASI, artificial super intelligence. And what's your view in the long-term future?
So there's a lot of discussions, and I don't think I have my very strong preference on either side. Okay,
Yeah.
so I see the possibility of the AGI, particularly nowadays when you are training. So if you are, you know that the problem is that when you are training agents, and then you set up the training objective to this agent, but then there are different ways of achieving this training objective. Okay, and those ways of achieving this training objective might be very unexpected to your design. And then the reason why people worry is that these AI agents, when they achieving this training objective with different ways that when you expect, they are going to be used actually when you are using it, which means that you are going to be expected AI will achieving some ability that you might not know, or it's actually outside of your design or the design goals. I think that's entirely possible, but then how significant this will be is a question mark. Okay, so
yeah, I see.
There are something unexpected that definitely exists, but then how this unexpectedness actually will be amplified to a way that will actually endanger human race. I think that's not very clear right now.
Yeah. So if we treat AI as a person, let's say, maybe now it's a teenager, which has some impressive capabilities, but not as mature as an adult. And if we make this analogy, do you think that when AI grow up, it will learn our value as a human and then be friendly to us still?
So first of all, I think that it will be much stronger than just an individual human. Okay,
much
so
smarter,
smarter, and much smarter, much more capable, because of for a single human, you are actually limited by your physical form. Okay, so you have your muscles, you have your physical form. And then what you can do is quite limited. So you have to have some physical interaction with other humans so that you'll be able to gain some interaction with them and impact them. But AI is invisible, or in a way that is virtual, which means that they can actually impact you in a way which is unobserved. Okay, so unnoticeable. And this is different because of this type of impacts. You might not be easy to monitor. You can monitor a person because it exists in the world, right? You have camera to actually monitor a particular person, but AI you somehow it's very hard to actually monitor. That's part what I say is that it's actually more capable and more dangerous than the individual. But of course, right now it's still in the very child age, and then if it actually grow up, and if it's actually not actually monitored or regulated in a good way, then it might actually turn into some bad things. I think that's possible. But I think on the other hand, I noticed that a lot of governments and NGOs, they realize this possibility, and I think they are starting to deploy or develop different technology which is able to actually looking after the development. And I'm very optimistic on this aspect, is that used by actually collective efforts from all these smart people, smart organizations, smart countries. So we will be able to, in the end, actually steer the direction of AI development into a way that only benefits to us instead of has any dangers. So I'm quite optimistic on this aspect.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. That's good to hear that you are optimistic and you are an expert. I can echo your points. First, that yes, we human has a physical body. So if you think about safety, you can trust a human pilot flying the airplane and then safely send the passengers, like 200, 300 passengers from one country to another. So that is largely expected that can be safe. Sometimes pilot get crazy. So like Malaysia Airlines, never been found, probably because of the pilot issue, right? But most likely humans are there, and then they are having this physical form. But if we imagine in the future where the airplane drive by itself, it's purely autonomous, and they don't have a form, or maybe their form is just the airplane itself, and you cannot really see that, right? You cannot, and then the danger comes at the point where if the system decide to kill the whole airplane, the passengers, it can do so without itself being fully destroyed, because it can have its code hosting other machine. As human pilot, if you want to crash the airplane, you will die together with the airplane, but AI probably won't die.
Yeah, so
that's your point, right? Yeah.
But on the other hand, I see is that could be different. For example, the human pilots, if they will have the very negative intention, okay, very negative intention of actually make it crash. But AI, when it actually does these crashings, they are probably unaware that they are doing bad things. They are optimizing things. For example, if you realize it's crashed, it might be because of, let's say, it actually want to go faster to reach the destination. And the crash is as a consequence of this go faster, because the go faster is embedded in your training. So AI will do bad things unconsciously.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Unconsciously. So I expect that all this AI, it's not that they are going to have this evil intention. It's more like that they have goodwill. Okay, they want to implement good things, but on the other hand, they do not actually realize that there are some side effects of their goodwill.
I see. Yeah.
That's different from human pilots and AI pilots. I suppose.
So they may not have a bad intention, but because the good intent, they actually have some kind of trajectory that lead to a bad consequences.
Yeah.
Okay. So and your research is ensure that they are not doing that, right?
That's what we are trying to do, and not only me. I think that a lot of institutes actually looking into this particular thing.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah. Okay. So I have maybe I have some other questions. Let me think. A lot of people worry about AI being like so powerful, so that they may maybe take away all the jobs. If that happens, do you think that two questions? Do you think how likely that it's going to be happen? And the second question, if that does happen, what should we do as a human race?
So I mean, it's definitely happened, and it's happening actually.
It's happening. Okay.
Yeah, it's happening. So I think that at least for a lot of previously labor-intensive jobs like coding, okay, so they are taking away all these jobs, and a lot of art design and advertisement design. So a lot of these things actually been taken away because AI can do things faster. So it's probably not that they can do things in a better quality. So because it can do things faster, and the faster means a lot of economic benefits. I think that's what the reason why now people are losing jobs just because of this. But on the other hand, I see personally there are opportunities of of people actually developing new occupations. For example, I mean, let me give you examples that I think a lot of my colleagues actually discuss this type of things even in the code in the system development. Okay, so in the system development, so it used to be a lot of time. I think at least 70% of time was invested on actually developing requirements, developing this design and so on. So before doing coding, 70% of time has been invested. And actually only 20% of time is actually doing the coding, and then probably 10% of time is actually doing code review and so on and so on. So a lot of time was on design. But after you have this AI things coming, I think it's expected that a lot of this design work, coding work will not be needed as 90%, for example.
Okay.
It's because that people can do things faster, right? And you do not need so many people to do these things. But on the other hand, the other things will come in is that you have to have human or a good system to looking after the quality of the system development. So because of the previously, so it goes through a very rigorous process of developing system, okay? And you will have less worry about the quality because it goes through everything. Okay, but now because of you're plugging this unreliable AI into this development, and you develop faster, but you have to suffer from the consequence, which means that you are going to invest more time to actually looking after how this code was, the quality of this code, how this code was integrated with other systems and so on. So you are moving actually the job from the design part, implementation part, to the part that you will actually need to verify the correctness of the code and so on. So it's moving of occupation from one area to the other area. But and this is an example, and I expect that similar things will happening in the other fields, I suppose.
Yeah, I think that's a great insight. Yeah, I fully echo that. I think that AI come along, and then the older jobs will go away, but there will be new jobs that are created. Yeah.
Yes.
And humans are good at finding out probably the new aspect of life or everything. So there's an analogy of like the artist when the camera was invented, and then the artists start to so traditionally it's more like painting the portraits, and then only rich people can afford that. But then camera invented, then the artists shift their motivation to like different style, like Picasso, the Cubism, and then also the Impressionism and so on, that which the camera cannot really do, right? Yeah. So humans are intelligent.
More abstract style of art.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. And also like industrial revolution that lift the labor intensive work in the farming business, and then the machine do a lot of labor work, and then the human can do more office work. Yeah, but in the new wave, it seems that the office work is being automated in this new wave. But I'm sure that we are still smart enough to actually find something else to do, right? So it's a matter of a refocus on what's important and so on. So humans are probably still good at doing that. Yeah. But I think one important worry is probably this: once the work has been automated, and there will be people lose jobs, and then the worry would be that they would not be able to find another job. And what's the view of you thinking that how those people can be taken care of by the system?
So that's probably my personal view. So what I can see is that so it actually means that people need to gain new skills in a way, or you need to actually reskill yourself.
Yeah.
And I see that particularly the government side, and then the educational system has to adapt to this new needs from the society, right? Because of so for education system, if you are stick with what you are currently offer, then what the graduates that you trained actually will not fit what the industry is actually needs. And then if a lot of jobs are going to be lost, a lot of old style jobs are going to be lost, then I expect that the government to take some leads, actually try to reskill these people into some fields, some new occupations and so on. So I think this is a systematic change that particularly the government and the education system to actually monitoring and then has to adapt to actually make it work actually in the end.
I think that's good idea. Yeah. I think importantly, the government will play a very kind of essential role to help those who lost their jobs to actually find their new jobs.
Indeed, yes.
And even I can see maybe in the distant future where actually you don't have to have a job, which means that the most of the jobs like relate to your maybe like food and accommodation and basic needs of transportation, those will be all automated. So they will be very cheap and then maybe even free, right? So you don't have to actually have a job to live a relatively comfortable life. That's possible. I'm not saying it's certain, right? It sounds like communism, but I don't know. I don't have the vision that it will be surely there, but it could be so, because the intelligence would allow this ordinary labor to be kind of taken over by machines, right? And then people can do whatever they like. That's a possible future. And then I think that we have the intelligence, or we have the ability to actually address some problems that we cannot address earlier. For instance, there are homeless people. There's climate change. There are basically, I mean, the elderly people, the care of elderly people are not that great in society, because they are more like being neglected because they don't produce a lot of economic benefits to the society. Maybe some society like China, we still value the old people a lot and we taking care of parents, but some other societies, they don't value the old people a lot. So no matter which society, no matter which culture, I think that the AI can empower the care of elderly people. So elderly people are usually more lonely. Then if people have more time to actually do things, they can start to care about those elderly people to make the society happier in general. And also, I think that people can pursue their own interest better, like sports or entertainment or anything they like, right?
Or science.
Yeah, or science. Yeah. So that would be a good future, I think. But the future is not probably deterministic, in the sense that in the Second World War or First World War, the tremendous progress in Industrial Revolution resulted in people being able to killing each other more efficiently, like using machine guns or tanks or airplanes. So in this new wave of revolution, we hope that we don't see that future. People harm each other using that new capability. I think that's really researchers like you are taking care of the safety side of AI to ensure we have a better future. So I think your work is tremendous, and you are truly an inspirational role model for me. And I'm sure that our students at AUT would really like your view and then inspired by your work. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.